I want to big up a long-time subscriber called Andrej. Forgive me if I'm butchering your name, bro, but he's an Eastern European gentleman, I believe from Ukraine, and he suggested that Tyson Fury may fight Oscar Rivas long before these rumors started circulating in the boxing press. So I have to big him up for his foresight in calling this one before it happened, although it is still just a rumor that Tyson Fury will face Colombian heavyweight Oscar Rivas. It's not confirmed as far as I'm aware. No contracts have been signed as far as I'm aware, but there's no smoke without fire. And for the whole boxing press to be reporting the same thing, I'm going to take a leap of faith and assume that there is at least talks going on between Team Fury and Team Rivas. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is a disappointing fight for Fury, his first fight on ESPN. I actually don't think it is a fight where you can bash Tyson Fury too much, because Oscar Rivas is a top 15 heavyweight. He's unbeaten. He's just coming off a knockout win of Bryant Jennings where he stopped him in the final round. And it's a decent fight for Tyson Fury in terms of a stay busy kind of fight. You know, it's not like Rivas is one of the top heavyweights out there. He's not. But as I say, he's legit top 15. That Bryant Jennings fight was competitive. I thought it was relatively close going into the final round. In fact, it was relatively close going into the final round on the judges' scorecards. So, you know, it's not like he's just blowing top contenders out. He's not. But he did get a decent win over Bryant Jennings. He's a short heavyweight, around 6 feet tall. He's very muscle bound. And I think there is an issue there with his stamina in the second half of fights, because although he stopped Jennings in the final round, those, preceding rounds prior to the 12th, from let's say 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, he seemed to be really gassing out and his punch volume went way down. But then he managed to get his second win very late on and stop Bryant Jennings. So going in there against a 6'8", 6'9" Tyson Fury, who's going to be way bigger than him in terms of height, reach, body mass, etc., you have to imagine that Fury is going to have a field day with this guy. Oscar Rivas is somewhat dangerous as a counterpuncher on the front foot. Not much head movement from him though. So being a short guy, being outreached by a Tyson Fury, having no head movement, that's a problem. Okay, but he's certainly not a guy who Tyson Fury can take too many liberties with, because he does seem to have some legitimate knockout power there. And as I say, he can counterpunch quite well on the front foot. His foot speed to me doesn't seem great, and that's another thing going against him. If he fights Tyson Fury, is as a short heavyweight, you're going to need foot speed to bridge the distance, to bridge the gap. But he seems a bit of a plodder, Oscar Rivas, and to me that's because of the fact that he has a lot of unnecessary muscle on him. If I was advising him or training him, I would certainly get him to lay off the weights a bit. Because, some fighters, particularly heavyweights, they seem to think that putting on loads of muscle is going to make them hit so much harder. It won't. If you want to learn how to increase your punching power, work on your technique. You don't need to put loads and loads of muscle on to increase your punching power. I mean, most punchers are born anyway. Most people who hit hard, most fighters who hit hard are born with a natural aptitude for punching hard. They have to tweak their technique, improve that technique to hit even harder. But, you're kind of born with the genetics and the body mechanics which allow you to hit hard, but you improve upon it. You tweak it, you refine it, etc., etc. And for Oscar Rivas, if he's hoping that putting all this extra muscle on is going to improve the punching power, as I say, I would move him away from that, drop some of that muscle, maybe drop 10 pounds of muscle, which is easily done if you're constantly in the gym, pumping weights and drinking protein shakes. Just take you out of the gym 80% of the time from pumping weights, take you off them protein shakes. You can get 10 pounds off a guy like this easy. And work on speed, work on upper body movement, so on and so forth. not so much weights, because if you've got the speed and you're naturally heavy-handed anyway, you're going to catch guys off guard. You're going to catch guys unaware. You're going to catch guys with punches that they don't see. And when that happens, you're going to knock people out. So that's what I'd say about Oscar Rivas. Again, on paper, it's not a fight which you expect Tyson Fury to lose at all. In fact, a lot of people would say Oscar Rivas is kind of tailor-made for Tyson Fury. But in terms of picking an opponent who is credible in some way, in terms of his ranking and his ability, etc., Oscar Rivas is okay. Yeah, it's not the most compelling matchup we've ever seen, but it's okay. I'm not going to grumble about it too much. If he picked somebody who was outside of the top 15, who would literally all never heard of, who couldn't punch, then I'd be grumbling. But to be picking an Oscar Rivas, it's all right. He's for a tune-up fight, preparing him for a bigger fight later on in the year, I don't see any issue with this. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this rumored fight between the Gypsy King Tyson Fury and Oscar Rivas. Are you disappointed by it? I mean, if it wasn't Rivas, who would you like it to be? Kubrat Pulev? I think the Kubrat Pulev fight, there's a story there because, of course, Kubrat Pulev beat Tyson Fury's cousin Hughie Fury. So there's a story, but Kubrat Pulev is not the most exciting fighter in the world, is he? What are the chances that Kubrat Pulev versus Tyson Fury would end in any knockdowns or a knockout? Remote, right? Because you got two guys who are safety first. Tyson Fury does have the ability to fight inside and be more aggressive, but he chooses not to use that for most of his fights these days, because when he used it in the past, he got clipped by Steve Cunningham, by Nevin Pikage, struggled twice with John McDermott. So these days he tends to not try and exchange with you and just keep it long, and keep it safety first. So that is what that is. And Kubrat Pulev has always been safety first for the most part. So that wouldn't be the most entertaining fight. Oscar Rivas is going to be the matador in the bull, right? But Oscar Rivas is obviously a very, very small bull. And Tyson Fury is an enormous matador. So that's the kind of situation it is. I think from an entertainment standpoint, the Oscar Rivas fight is probably going to be a better spectacle than Tyson Fury versus Kubrat Pulev, I would imagine. Yeah, we don't know because we have to see the fights and find out. But on paper, I'd think Oscar Rivas is probably a more entertaining fight because he's going to be throwing very big punches at Fury whenever he gets the opportunity. Fury's going to try to keep him off and break him down. So, yeah, I think the style matchup is a little more complementary. But as I say, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this rumored fight. Are you disappointed by it? At the end of the day, if Tyson Fury hopes to get back in the ring relatively soon, then it's going to have to be against the Rivas. I don't think there's enough time to get a deal done. There probably isn't enough time to get a deal done against a major opponent. We know he's not fighting Wilder next. There was the potential of Dylan White. And again, that's why I had to big up Andre, because he did say he can't see Tyson Fury fighting Dylan White in his first fight back. And to be honest, I couldn't see it either. But I always felt if Dylan White signs with ESPN, he wouldn't do it unless the Tyson Fury fight is part of the deal. Or else why would he sign with him? It doesn't make any sense him signing with him if Tyson Fury is not part of the deal. So yeah, I could see White and Tyson Fury taking kind of a tune-up first and then maybe fighting each other a few months down the line. But at the moment, according to what Hearn has been saying, he says that Dylan White tells him that he's staying with Sky and that his next fight is going to be in June. So it's unlikely there's going to be Tyson Fury, is it? Unless Dylan White is kind of leading Eddie Hearn up the garden path a little bit and not telling him exactly what's going on. He did say that Dylan White's plan is to maybe have his UK broadcaster remain as Sky, but have his US broadcaster as ESPN. Not sure how that would work. In a recent interview, Eddie Hearn did say that that kind of wouldn't be the best situation for Dylan White in terms of getting a title shot, because if Deontay Wilder signs with DAZN and Anthony Joshua's obviously with DAZN, it's going to be very difficult for Dillian Whyte. If he signs an exclusive deal with ESPN, it's going to be impossible, basically, for him to get a title shot, unless he becomes mandatory challenger, of course, and then it's going to go to purse bids between ESPN and DAZN, and how much are ESPN willing to bid, you know? Dillian Whyte's not a massive name in the United States or anything like that. You would imagine that if it's Wilder or AJ on DAZN, the fight's going to end up on DAZN, you know? Would the terms be to Dillian Whyte's liking? I don't know. So these are the things that Dillian Whyte is going to have to consider if he decides to go ahead with that ESPN deal, you know? Anyway, let me know what you think about the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, potentially taking on Oscar Rivas. What opponents would you have preferred other than this? And yeah, just let me know how you think it will go down if the fight takes place. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.